Hello everyone, so today I'm going to review my Legacy Inferno. So here is Inferno. That's a nice close-up of him over there. Let's get to see some of his detailing. That's his front view. Very nicely sculpted face. I'll get to the articulation in a bit. But that's his front view. Got a little nice Predacon logo over there. There's his legs all the way down. Side view. That's this little rotor that he has on his back. His ant butt becomes kind of like a propeller thingy. Yeah. Rear view, very nice colors inside. Got that nice metallic blue inside of his insect butt. There are his legs, there are his hands, his ant bits over there. So let's get to the articulation. His head's on the ball socket. Here, it's on a ball socket. So you can see he can turn all around, go up and down. His mouth opens about this wide. He reminds me of a Muppet character, you know, with a wide gaping mouth, kind of like a Muppet, but with lots of sharp pointy teeth, as you can see. He's got some pipe lighting going on. So, as you can see in the back here, pipe lighting, so he could make his eyes and mouth look all red when you put them against the light. So that's the articulation of his head. You can turn him all around on the waist. Arms are on a ball and socket. Oh, wait. Ball and socket. What I mean to say is arms go up and down like this. They go front like this. It's part of the transformation. He's got double jointed elbows, which is part of the transformation. He has a bicep swivel, as you can see. Part of the transformation. And you can turn his hand all around. So there. That's the articulation of his arms. For his legs, he got this. He could do the splits all the way up like that. His legs could go all the way back, obstructed a little bit by his butt, but that's cool. He can kick all the way this. He can kick all the way up to this. He has got a, double jointed knee as well, so you get a full bend on his knee. That's part of the transformation. Oh, and he's got this. You could kind of swivel his ankles, so you could get him on some poses like that. Could bend his ankles like that. So that's pretty good. Did I miss this out? Oh yeah, you could also turn his thigh all around too. And when we go to the rear view, like in the show, this thing sort of spins around like a rear propeller, so it's pretty cool. Turns around, so that's nice. I like the way it turns around. So yeah, you could close these up. These close up later in the transformation, I shall show you. But, you know, that's his articulation. Overall, it's got nice texturing. So you can really see here a lot of detail on the inside of his booster. His gun is, of course, the gun can also plug into his butt. Now, I'm a Beast Wars fan, so I used to watch it back in '96 or mid-'90s. And I remember he's got this, but I remember he's got another gun in the show, and the gun's got a perforated barrel. It looks really cool. Sadly, this toy does not have that other gun. He just has this thruster, which becomes his gun. But I remember in the show, he had the thruster in his butt, and he had that separate gun, which is kind of like a flamethrower with a perforated barrel, which really looked cool. But even though he doesn't have that, this toy still looks cool. I like Inferno. He's around, I forgot to measure him, but I think he's around 7 inches tall, or 8 inches, or 7.5, but he's a Voyager, that's for sure. So he looks pretty cool. I think he's around 7 inches, but yeah. He looks pretty cool over here. And that's Inferno, so I'm gonna now show you how to transform him in a bit. So now I'm gonna show you guys how to transform Inferno. So first I'm gonna unpeg his gun. Next, I'm gonna split his ant head in half. And when you split it in half, you can pull down his little ant mandibles over here, like so. Then you could just raise it up to cover his robot head, and you can close the halves. So now he's got his ant head going on with the movable antennae, so that's pretty cool. He's got working mandibles, by the way, which is cool. So yeah, so we got his head done. Next thing you want to do is you gotta, kind of put his hands like this, fold it with a double joint like that. The point here is you gotta get his little hand to peg into this hole. So it's got enough joints to sort of bend it and collapse it inward. So once you got that in, just be sure to swivel the legs out of the way so they won't, impede it. So if you notice, there it is. His hand is now clutching that square thing inside. If you notice, there's a peg because that connects to the other half over here. So you do the same thing with the other arm. You bend it at the double joint and you make it collapse in such a way that this thing will hold, his hand's going to hold this little square hole. So it's got enough joints to do that. So collapse it. Just get the insect bits, swivel them out of the way so you can complete it, and then be sure to peg these because there's a corresponding hole for this peg and vice versa for the other side. So once you get that done, you got his, more or less his top half done. See, its insect form is slowly, you're starting to see his insect form little by little. Then you turn them at the waist like so. Turn the entire thing at the waist. And then you could, fold up his feet like this all the way. And then his knees, you kind of collapse his knees. So you push him forward and you fold him in like that. Do it for both sides. Yeah, because you're going to actually tuck his legs into his insect butt later on. So you do that with both knees. And if you notice, there is a peg and a hole. So you could connect these. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, you could connect those. So I'm just showing you the principle of it. And then, as you can see, you could also, you collapse this part over there. And then you raise his legs up. Just be sure it's, raise them up like so. You can swivel these down already if you want, his insect legs. So once those things are raised up, be sure the knees are sort of collapsed into each other. And then you peg them. Make sure they're of the same length. So there, just gotta work it. So once it's there, once you close those up, you'll notice that there's a sort of another peg over here. The purpose of that is you're gonna connect it now to his ant butt. Now this lower flap, you spin it around and make it go up top. Now these pegs, you line them up. So that peg goes there in that half. That peg goes there. This one goes in the other part. So you got now his ant butt formed. You lower this down, and these pegs here go over to these holes. So, and you close that up. And once you do that, you just gotta sort of adjust his legs to make him walk, and that's more or less it. Just make sure everything's tightened up, and you got yourself Inferno in his ant form. And he's got a hole in his back, so you could peg his flamethrower / butt rocket thruster. So it's more or less like that. So that's more or less Inferno in ant form, and I like his ant form. He's a very big fire ant. So as far as articulation goes on his ant form, you could make his head go up and down a bit. You could swivel these like this, turn them inside. That's the only articulation for his front legs. These legs can swivel like that. That's the only articulation on those middle legs. For this one, you could move them like this or swivel them over here. So that's the articulation for his rear legs. His mandibles, the outer ones, can go out that wide, and they could also collapse into themselves. Yeah, but this tiny one is not posable. These tiny inner mandibles, but the outer ones are. His antennae can go front and back. He's pretty cool as an ant and pretty big. He's a big ant. He's almost like kind of bigger than a Mighty Max pocket size set, but he's pretty cool. He's pretty cool. I'd like to take this off because I like him as an ant without the whole thruster on his back, and you can adjust his antennae. So here he is as an ant with his blue eyes. I have to say I like it. I like little hues of purple on the red. Nice texturing over there. You can see it's got a nice coarse feeling, and got a really big ant butt. Little segments on his legs are cool too. Nice sculpting. You can see his robot bits underneath the back of his thighs, and his little feet folded up. But it's fine. It's fine to me. And nice little porous texture on his ant skin. So there's Inferno in ant mode, and I have to say, he looks pretty cool. I have to say he's my second favorite Predacon. My favorite's Megatron, but this guy is my second favorite. He's really cool. Over here is Inferno's box. Tomy Takara Transformers Legacy Predacon Inferno. Nice box art up front. There's no cellophane anymore, or that clear plastic, so he's just sticking out here when I got him. So that's cool. I guess they're cutting, budget cuts. But here's the front. Nice box art of Inferno in ant mode with that weapon on top of him. Side view, you've got, Megatron. This guy who kind of looks like a drag strip, I guess. I think this is Kickback. I don't know who this guy is. Kind of forgot who it is. And there's a Seeker over here. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. At least I think this is Megatron. In the back, 26 steps to transform him. Nice box art of Inferno. It's got Hasbro there in the bottom. Nice art of Inferno over there. And on this side, you got nice art of Inferno in robot form with his mouth agape. Legacy. That's up top of the box. And the bottom, you got these stuff written over there. So that's his box. Here's Megatron. And here's Leader Class Megatron. And here's Voyager Inferno. So you guys have a sense of scale of how tall he is. So he's around 7 inches. And these two are my favorite Predacons. I really like Megatron. And Inferno is my second favorite Predacon. I wasn't expecting to like him this much, but he is really awesome. So my final thoughts are it's a good representation of Inferno. It really reminds me of the Inferno from the show. Although in the show he's a little bit thinner, and he had that gun. This thing's in his butt, and he had that gun with a perforated barrel. I kind of wish he had it, but other than that, it's a good Inferno overall. And I like him. I like his colors. I like how he scales up with Megs. He's a little chunkier than in the show, but that's fine. And he looks really good, For the royalty! Yes, my queen! So yeah, he reminds me of the Inferno from my childhood days. So, that's all I gotta say about it. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. See you next time.